What is going on, Mr.
What's up?
Williamson?
Ow, you got quite a grip there.
I've been working out. Have you not noticed?
I did not notice that, no,
It's probably because...
until you squeezed my hand.
So, we are here with the
Don't
very
overdo it.
talented and very
Handsome.
David Williamson, who, if you do not know, stop this video right now. I swear
Yeah,
to God.
go watch America's Most Wanted.
Tell us a little
Thank
bit
you.
about yourselves. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but why do you do magic? What can you tell us anything about, like, your thoughts on performing, on how you got started, why you like it, why you don't
Well,
like
why
it?
do we all do it? I don't know. It's a cry for help. Fills that big black hole, in our childhood. Did you do it since you were a kid? Did you start it when you were little?
Yeah, but I've had phases, like a clown came to my birthday party when I was 5 years old, and did sponge balls, and
Then
I, of
therapy.
course, liked it, right? And I was like, but he touched me as well. And I
Yeah,
was-
show me where he touched you. I got hooked early on, and I met my mom. I think the big moment was when my mom dropped me off at Abbott's Magic Convention when I was 13 years old, me and another kid from Cincinnati, and she said, "See ya," and she just drove up to Wisconsin and left us there with a pup tent. And it was the greatest weekend of my life. We were just had to fend for ourselves. We were like two little sewer rats running around, following people around.
That was great.
And then my dad used to drive me down to the TAOM every summer because he had a brother down there. So he'd drop me off and take off. So I got to see a lot of magicians in my formative years, 13, 14, 15, 16, all my teenage years. I was always at conventions. My mom would sometimes put me on Greyhound buses to go down to South Carolina or a place at St. Louis, to a magic convention.
The community nowadays is so much different than it was back then.
Online is amazing,
Yeah,
right?
because now people, all they know is online. People, all
Yeah.
they know is like these videos and things like that.
Although I'm encouraged because I'll see online videos of things like Cardistry Con or Magic Con, where young guys, it's because most magic conventions, let's be honest, it's white hair guys. At least it was for years and years.
Do you have any thoughts on where the magic community now is going? Is it in a bad direction? Is it in just a different direction?
Different. I don't put any value, good and bad, on change like this. I think magic has such a solid foundation of centuries, right? That I don't think there's a bad direction that it's going in. I think it's different, and maybe that threatens some people who are very comfortable in their existence. Not me. I love it. I think it's exciting. I think magic gets stagnant sometimes, and you need a boost of a revival,
Yeah.
and it goes in different exciting directions, It's like just thinking about card magic again, and all the young guys like you, and just all the exciting people that are in magic now.
I'm
It's just
getting old,
inspiring
man.
me.
So
Yeah,
many
you're an
good
old man
young
now.
guys now.
The internet accelerates that. I mean, back in the day, in order for T. Nelson Downs to learn what the hell Vernon was doing, he'd write a letter, and he goes, well, maybe in 6 months when I travel to New York, by stagecoach, whatever, by train,
Yeah.
he maybe will, and maybe every 6 months or a few months, a secret would be passed between two guys who lived on different coasts or who were traveling around, and they were better at keeping secrets. But today, the next morning, some kid in Indonesia, this move has been crowd hacked and improved, you know what I mean, to the point of perfection in a few hours. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's how learning becomes not only easier, but I think you become more creative by getting ideas from here, and there. If you have a stream of comments of what if you do this, what if you do that.
It's a super session. It's incredible. Yeah.
One question that I have really for everybody is what's really the creative process in not only creating new tricks, but bringing out your own persona, because you perform for years and years, right?
Yeah.
Different venues,
Right.
all over the world.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm not sure if I'm right in saying this, but your persona had to have changed depending on not only the venue,
Of course.
but the time and the...
Absolutely. I still feel like I'm finding my way. I feel like I still haven't figured it out. I think the key is to perform for as many people as you possibly can and get in front of them and get in front of eyeballs. And I gave this advice once and guys were laughing at me. They didn't think I was serious, but it's one thing to work on the moves and work on the clever routine and the method and to imagine some sort of premise or presentation. It's another thing to do it for real people. They will not have any patience for your presentation, maybe you were wrong and you haven't worked it out. I found myself working stuff out real time. Like I got a restaurant gig, or I work in dinner theaters. So by the 9th table, I knew 100% that this move wasn't going to work, or this line didn't work, or this premise didn't work, or the trick just wasn't appealing. People were looking at their watches. So to get out there as much as you can and just do these things and listen to the audience, that's the key. Listen. And just because you love this line and you think they're too dumb to understand it, maybe you're misunderstanding that the line's no good. Give it up. You have to kill, what was that famous saying, kill your darlings. Everybody needs to be their own worst enemy, their own editor. My strong suit became psychological warfare. You know what I mean? Being able to be yourself and completely natural on the top, but then working extra hard underneath the surface, to fool people. One suggestion I gave to people who are practicing, because I practice with a mirror at a card table and all my moves, so I watched myself doing it. And I got that bad habit that you get when you work in front of a mirror, blinking when you did the moves, So I saw myself doing that eventually, and then people, would go, "Oh, I could tell you did something. How do you know? You blinked." It's like, "Oh crap, that's a tell." So what I did eventually is I took stuffed animals, right? A rabbit, a bear, a giraffe, whatever it is, and you put 4 or 5 around the card table. Get rid of the mirror. So when you practice that same trick you've been practicing from the mirror, you go, "Okay, rabbit, shuffle the cards." Because when you practice this trick, you never practice that moment that it takes for a full 45 to 60 seconds for somebody to shuffle the deck. What do you do during that time? What do you say? You never practice that because you've just been doing the moves. Because you think, now I'll have them shuffle the deck, and then wait a minute. You have 45 seconds, which is 1/5 of the time you're going to be doing this trick.
Yeah.
Where you haven't planned on what you're going to say or do or what's happening. So you have to fill that now because you have these pairs of eyeballs looking at you. That's the key of having stuffed animals around. So you go, rabbit, shuffle the deck. Bear, keep an eye on rabbit. I don't trust him. Wolf, I know you're looking at rabbit put your tongue back in your mouth. This is a card trick, it's not dinner time. That's enough, rabbit. You're always grabbing the cards. No. Anyway, okay, giraffe, take any card and show it to bear. Bear, do me a favor, hold these and have that thing. And now I'm setting up ridiculous premises, and it's like real life.
Which is really great because you see so many performers, it's
robotic.
Yeah, please take a card. Okay, he has taken a card, and can you shuffle up the pack?
Well,
just wait and look.
Well, it's called expository. You're explaining what's happening as you're doing it. Instead of saying, I call it the I'm going to school of magic. I'm going to ask you to take a card. I'm going to ask you to remember it. I'm going to ask you to write your name on it. And I'm going to ask you to put it back in the pack, and I'm going to ask you to, I'm going to. It's like horrible.
That's such great, especially very beginner advice, because once you start in that trend, it might be hard to get away from it.
I'll give you my basic philosophy of card tricks, of the psychology of card tricks, and I've said this before in my lectures. If you say to somebody, take the cards, shuffle them up as much as you like. Take any card you wish out of the pack, look at it, remember it, put it back in the deck, shuffle them up some more. Would you be amazed if I could find your card? They're going to go, no. You obviously, look at your confident attitude. You're not worried at all about anything. You're so cocky. I'll be amazed if you don't find my card, which is the opposite of what you want, right? It's the opposite. So my style, and again, this is what it came up over this, I say here, shuffle the deck as much as you, that's whoa, that's enough, okay. And now take any, go ahead, card in the, down in this, all right, we'll do a different, look at it, we'll do a different trick. Put it back anywhere, somewhere in the, did you put it back all right? Never mind, we'll do a rope trick. And just so there's some uncertainty there.
Yeah.
That's why when I do a peek, like when I'll say take the deck, push the deck open, you have to actually see the number and the suit of one of the 52 cards in the pack. But most people don't get the suit, they just get the number. So get the number and the suit. And meanwhile, you've already palmed it off and it's under my knee now or whatever. And they're going, I already saw it. You go, what do you mean? I didn't get my finger in the back or whatever. And they go, no, I already saw it. You go, well, we're going to do a trick with some little red sponges I have here somewhere because I'm not Harry Potter. And there's no way I'm going to find that. And meanwhile, it's already under my knee,
All right, so what do we got for us?
Well, people force cards all the time, and I force cards all the time. And my go-to force is the classic force. And it's probably one of the toughest, but once you get it, it's actually, once you get over the mental hurdle of pushing a card in a guy's hand, it's actually one of the easiest over time. But people always ask me, about the classic force. And I just hold a break. Some people hold a break above the card to be forced. I hold a break below the forced card. So I'll have it there. And I'm going to use your hand, Alex. I don't know if you can reach in there. And what I do is open my hand, and there's no longer a break. As soon as I open my hand, that steps over, and it's just a step now. So that is a key card. The one just above that will be my force card, right? So I don't have to worry about holding a break the entire time. Let's say it's the 5 of clubs. I just peek the 5 of clubs. Now look, I'm spreading, but I'm not holding a break anymore. And depending on where your hand is, watch my thumb. You're getting closer. I'm going to shove a bunch over. And then I'm just going to shove that 5 right there. But then I'm going to keep going even while I pull back. Look, I'm still spreading as if they had a choice of all 52. So that's basically, if you haven't seen it up close or haven't thought about it much, I say classic force all the time, whether you need to or not. That's the best way to practice the classic force, is always try to force a card, even if the trick doesn't require it. And here's another force that I used to use all the time. It's a slip force. A bad version of slip force is something like that. You've all seen that, where somebody just snaps it like that.
We've all heard it too.
You've all heard it too, right? A little subtlety might be something like this. When they say stop, I'll book the deck open like a book, and now my fingers touch naturally here on the back, but I'll spread here as if they had a choice of any of these cards. I'll say here, and then I'll come up. Now I pivot, and that's when I steal that card. But my thumb has a reason for coming up, because now you just kind of flick those cards. You say, you could have picked any one. Go ahead and look at it. Now look, now you're basically put it back in the deck and classic force the card, and they see themselves taking it out of the center. So that's just a small subtlety. I'll say, you could have picked any card. It doesn't matter to me which one you take, and just show it to everybody else. I think we're lucky because it's so rare, and no other art form really connects to people the way specifically close-up magic does.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, put thought into it, put effort into your learnings, and
don't take it too seriously. Put a lot of thought in that part, but then when you're with people, make it fun. Make their few moments with you memorable and fun.
awesome.
Don't get too heavy.
All right, tell them to like this video, subscribe to this channel.
Yeah,
and
do all
comment
that,
below.
what he said. We'll see you down the road.
Guys. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you like David. We all love David. And thank him for his time.
And I'll buy a less busy shirt next time if we ever do that again.
Peace.